What is good with y'all boys, man? CGODB, aka Clip Ganger Don't Bang. Um, yeah, man, back tonight with another video. This one's gonna be Terance Mann's season grade. Hopefully, you guys checked out that Reggie Jackson one I dropped about 4 or 5 days ago. Yeah, I mean, if you guys missed out on that, it's basically just a little series I'm doing. I'm doing all the starters first. So after you watch this one, make sure to, comment who I should do next out of the 3 starters that are left. Batum, Morris, and Zubac. So, yeah, just let me know which one I should do next. But, yeah, so first things first, the Chargers finished day 3 of the draft yesterday. We drafted a lot of new youth. The next video I make will be covering that, so look out for that one too. But anyways, let's get into this. So tonight we're going to be covering Tmann, T-Hustle, you know what I mean, the Brooklyn boy, 11 points per game this year, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. In small increments he improved, along the margins and stuff, and it was kind of a weird year for Terance Mann as it was Reggie and a lot of the other guys. Honestly, the whole year was just weird for the Clippers. So Terance Mann had to wear some different, many different hats and stuff, and kind of transition into the backup point guard per se role, and be like the offensive initiator. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of an awkward year for Team Man. I still think he did pretty well, honestly. He will benefit greatly next season from having all the guys back. Of course, I think Terance Mann's game will be one of the most elevated from having the guys back and us being at full strength. So, yeah, I mean, let's get into this, though. 29 minutes per game. So last year, I believe he only played 15, 17 minutes per game. 48% from the field. Pretty solid. 36% from 3. I expect this to go up back to above 40% next season, having the guys back and getting more quality looks. But yeah, 36% still, still not bad. 78% free throw. I want to see him get this up for sure. But yeah, I mean, these are just the baseline stats for this season, and we're gonna get into strengths and weaknesses like the last breakdown. So, Terance Mann, these are the positives I just jotted down. Came up off the top of my head. This season, he was really smart with the ball in his hands. So, he had 209 assists and only 84 turnovers this year. So, even though the stats, he got average 3 assists per game, it doesn't look like he was, going that crazy or whatever. It just looks like whatever. But he was really smart with the ball in his hands, and he really rarely turned the ball over, which is great to see. Yeah, I mean, that was just really, really nice from Terance Mann and improving his playmaking and stuff like that. And, just as the year went on, too, he just showed us some good flashes. Next bullet point, stepped up into a new temporary role, being the point guard in the second unit. So I put temporary because I honestly I hope to God that we get a point guard who can come off the bench, whether free agency, whatever. If Preston's ready, let him play. Fuck it, man. I do not want to see Terance Mann, being the ball handler off the bench again. Like, he did good. He did pretty solid, stepping in and filling in that role. But that's just let's have Terance Mann play his own game. You know what I mean? He's best, when he's able to just be in the corner and make his cuts and stuff, and then, hit and transition and bring some good rim pressure. So, and then, of course, shooting his threes and stuff like that. But let's just put Terance Mann back in his role, okay, his original role. Being that shooting guard, small forward, wing stopper type of guy. Energy, high energy glue guy. So let's let him go back into that, and I do not want to see Terance Mann at point guard next year, please, okay? Do you guys agree with me on this? Let me know. But anywho, he developed as a facilitator. and became more competent being a ball handler, even though the stats don't reflect it. So I mentioned this earlier. Um, yeah, I mean, this season, whether it's the stats say so or not, if you guys watch the games, you'd see that as the season went on, Terance Mann, he was making smarter passes, pretty good reads. Yeah, I mean, he's overall just like I can trust him more now. Um, if like worst comes to worst and he's having to run a pick and roll or something on the offense, like you know what I mean, he definitely got some way more experience this year doing that. So that was good. Next bullet point asked us to wear many different hats and be flexible in many roles. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We talked about that just a few minutes ago, but yeah, I mean, he wore many different hats. That's just he's a very valuable player, Tmann. Uh, he can provide juice and hit the glass well for a guard. So we all know this. Tmann, he had it says it right down here. He had 19 games with 8+ boards. So and those are in those games too. If you check like the stat line, those games when he had 8+ boards this season, he was putting up like 15 plus. You know, what I mean, it was like in like nearly all those games. 15 plus. 20-point games. So that's kind of a pretty good trend with him. When he hits the boards well and gets it going, then Terance Mann, it really opens up his offensive game. Um, but yeah, I mean, we know this though. We know this. Hopefully, we can see a lot of this next year too, and whether he's staggered with Kawhi and PG and or in the second unit or whatever. Like, we want to see Tmann hit the glass and yeah, make some really nice offensive boards like we see him do. Um, Next one is I put he will benefit greatly next season with roster stability and playing his true role. So yep, I mean this one's just obvious. Like he should he's gonna get way better looks. Being on the floor with guys like Kawhi, PG, Norm, who have like a lot of gravity offensively, and teams respect them when they drive. So T-Man's gonna get a lot of open looks. So I expect that 3-point percentage to go up, back above 40, and I expect T-Man to hit his stride pretty early on next season. I put one of our best point of attack defenders, very pesky on guard. So this right here is why I say any people involving T-Man in trades, please, please, please shut the fuck up, okay? Because we need more guys like T-Man that can, be pesky on these point guards, shooting guards, or whatever. Like, because those are the guys that honestly tear us up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like we just need more guys with Terance Mann's skill set. We have a lot of wings, but um, I know PG's capable of it. Kawhi's capable of guarding the smaller guys too. But do we really want them to do all that? Like, you know what I mean? They should just stick to guarding, the the wings on the other team. You know what I mean? And taking out their best opposing guys. But yeah, I mean, Terance Mann, he did pretty good chasing around these quick dudes out here, and his defense definitely improved from last season as well. I mean, it was already good last season, but it definitely got better in small increments. I'm not talking about he vastly improved and just went crazy this year on defense, because I think he only averaged like 0.7 steals per game this year. But yeah, I mean, overall though, he did elevate his game in many areas, just very, very acute and small along the margins. But yeah, I put he's a hard worker and will finally get his first real off season. So as you guys know, we drafted him, T-Man, in 2019, the COVID year. So yeah, I mean, he didn't even last off season too. He didn't. It was a very quick turnaround. So now he's finally gonna get a real off season. So hopefully, his game just it improves, which we all know it will, because Terance Mann is a very, very hard worker. So I expect him to put in that work. then here's this little stat right here. So, second most total minutes / points on the whole roster behind Reggie Jackson. So he had the second most minutes played and the second most points scored. So Terance Mann was really, really putting in that work this year, despite what the stats say. I know we all expected um, him to put up more points per game or whatever, having the main guys out. But yeah, I mean, he played 2,317 minutes this year. Wow, man, because Tmann, he was just always out there. It seemed like at points in the regular season, it seemed like him and Reggie Jackson were always on the floor because they were just staggered with so many different lineups. And Terance Mann would be starting this game, and then he'd come off the bench next game, and flip flop. And yeah, I mean, he was very reliable this year. I mean, that's availability can be your best ability sometimes. So yeah, brings much needed rim pressure and transition. We all know this about Tmann. Kind of like coffee as well. They have pretty good rim pressure. I'll give them that. Terance Mann, he kind of has this little wonky finishes when he finishes with like the opposite shoulder and stuff, and then takes like a long step and then bumps the guy off him and stuff. We all know Terance Mann's like signature kind of layup. But yeah, next one. I just talked about this. He had some monster rebounding games. Improved his game as the season went on. And, yeah, I'm going to get into these negatives, too. I'm going to get into negatives on Tmann this season because he did have quite a few. I mean, it wasn't a perfect year for him. It was kind of a weird year for everyone. But before I get into the next slide, because I have the season grade on there, for Terance Mann's season grade this season, I give it a solid B, okay? I'm going to get into why I gave him a B. So, the negative this year, I know a lot of fans had some crazy expectations of Terance Mann because last postseason, he just absolutely dominated the Jazz. And, yeah, I mean, dropped like 40 points in the closeout game, dunked on Gobert, many, many times. I don't know, like, I for one, I definitely, I'll admit, I definitely thought like Terance Mann was at least gonna average like 16 points per game this year with the guys out. But Reggie he's definitely gonna take the most shots. I think Terance Mann only took six or 7 shots per game this season. Reggie took like 16, as opposed to Terance Mann's like 7. But yeah, I mean, before the season though, GMs voted Terance Mann is most likely to get most improved, which that says a lot. I mean, do you guys think it was like recency bias or what? But no, I definitely expected Terance Mann to up the scoring a little bit, but it's all good. It's all good. I expect him to just as long as he just keeps being who he is and doesn't try to outstretch his role and just continues being a high echelon, rotation guy. That's cool with me. I mean, we have some stars in the fold, Brandon Boston, he could be one. We have a lot of nice youth pieces, so I'm definitely not like banking on like Terance Mann being like a future star. I mean, if he's just who he is, that's great. That's cool. But yeah, his game will improve though. Trust. His game will improve. I'm not counting out Tmann not being a future, star or whatever like that. But yeah, I mean, even if he's a role player, he's a great one. So then this one right here, he had a weird end to the season. He only played 15 minutes versus the Wolves, which I thought was kind of bogus because, Terance Mann, he's one of those guys that like when he's impacting a game, it's very, very clear. And you're just like, whoa, like you could just like feel like the impact he has on the game. Yeah, I definitely thought he should have played more versus the Wolves. When he did play, he definitely, made his presence felt. And then the next game, final game of the season, he had 37 minutes versus the Pelicans. He had 4.7 rebounds, 4 assists. He only shot the ball 5 times though, but Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a weird end to the season for him. I don't know why they played him so little versus the Wolves, even with Kennard out. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. Um, this one here defers a lot to the veterans on the team too much at times instead of looking for his own shot. So we know this already. When Terance Mann is sharing the floor with, like, even with PG towards the end of the season, like, he's gonna defer to the veterans a lot, which, it's I'm not saying that's like that's not what was like obviously gonna happen, because of course, who'd you rather have taking most of the shots, Terance Mann or PG? But I'm talking about like the obvious, like when we know he can get a bucket himself, and um, he's just like kind of being too passive or whatever. But yeah, he could definitely like work on just being more aggressive, looking for his own shot and stuff like that. Then this one here hesitates at times instead of letting the wide open threes fly. So we all know this, right? So we pass it to Terance Mann. He's wide open. The guy's kind of like playing halfway between him and the rim. So Terance Mann can easily take, a wide open three while the guy's closing out. It'll be like a very, very lightly contested shot, but Terance Mann will instead pump fake, and then he'll like act like he's gonna drive in, and then he'll do that little like pivot turnaround mid range, which he didn't really hit on like a high efficiency clip this season. But yeah, I mean, he could definitely let the threes fly more. And then this right here, sometimes would dribble for too long without advancing the ball, would take a while to initiate the offense. So this is why I said it in the beginning of the video, why I don't want Terance Mann to be the second point guard off the bench. Like please return him to his normal role, because a lot of times, he dribble the ball for too long, and it would take him a while to initiate the offense and stuff. And even though he'd make a smart pass, he'll just take a lot off the clock, and we wouldn't just have as much time to get a quality look. But he needs to improve his mid-range J's. I expected him to hit those at a higher clip for sure. It was very streaky this season. So hopefully Kawhi being back and, practicing with him, and hopefully he works with them on that, because if he can get that mid-range pull-up down, that would be very, very lethal and can definitely up his scoring output. But yeah, 78% free throw percentage needs to improve. And this I put right here is 3-point percentage drop from 41%, down 5% to 36%. So, I mean, of course, the best player he was sharing the floor with was Reggie and Morris. So, it's gonna definitely go up above 40% next season. He's gonna get way more quality open catch and shoot looks and stuff like that. So, I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, overall, I gave Tmann a B. So, what do you guys think, though? What do you guys think? Like, I know it's kind of like an awkward year for most of the guys, but you kind of got to grade these guys with context. And overall, I think Terance Mann did very solid. He played many different roles and, remained that guy we all love and cheer on and love to see him play. So, yeah, I mean, just keep bringing it. Work hard this offseason. Come in rejuvenated, ready, because you're finally getting a real offseason. And, yeah, I mean, keep doing your thing, team, man. Keep doing your thing. That'll be about it for this video, though. Keep a lookout for that draft one coming up next, where I talk about who the Chargers drafted. I like it. I do like it. And I also called the first-round pick, Zion Johnson. So I called that on Instagram before it even happened. So that was pretty cool. And I'll share a story on that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Tmann's season. What would you grade his season? What do you think about the video? I'll converse with you guys, but much love. Take it easy, guys. CGODB signing out. Peace.